So there have been a lot of people going over like the leaks and rumors for the Switch 2, and I'd like to share some of my predictions, some of what I think Nintendo will actually do, and a couple of launch titles that I hope come to the successor to the Nintendo Switch. The Switch is drastically underpowered compared to the PS5 and Xbox Series X, and even the PS4 and Xbox One, the last gen consoles. This is basically an Xbox 360 in terms of power. So I'm thinking the dock is just a GPU, right? That would make sense, because then you would have a higher resolution on the screen, on the TV screen, and I'm also thinking that they put a disk drive on the dock, so that way, if the game is just too big and it just can't run on the Switch's normal hardware, on the normal graphics card, they just put the game exclusively for the dock. And that would mean we could have bigger sized games, get a physical release, because if Call of Duty were to release on Switch, first of all, it would run at like 2 frames per second. Second of all, it cannot get a physical release unless it's just like a download code, or like a quarter of the game is on the actual cartridge, because that Call of Duty is like 200 gigabytes. You know what the biggest size Switch cartridge is? It's 64 gigabytes. High mid-tier PCs have more than 64 gigabytes of RAM. And you're telling me that's as much as I can put on a game card? Why was 1-2 Switch not a pack-in? I know in your weird corporate brain you look at that monstrosity and you say, that'll be $50, sir. But it could have been iconic with the Switch. Actually, if it was iconic with the Switch, it would not have sold. So maybe Nintendo made the right decision in making it $50. Because that game was terrible. People say it should have been a pack-in. If it was a pack-in, the whole console would have failed. So I think they should do something that actually justifies the purpose of the Joy-Con having all that junk in it. Like the IR camera and why is that on there, Nintendo? Why did you put the IR camera on there? What can the IR camera do other than record your yapping about supposedly why it's so useful? What use has it had in any game other than 1-2 Switch and Nintendo Labo? Nintendo Labo failed and 1-2 Switch was garbage. So please, Nintendo, enlighten me on why this was a good and necessary addition to your $80 controller. If the Nintendo Switch 2 does not have backwards compatibility, I am burning down the Nintendo headquarters. Would Nintendo make the specs of their console the whole gimmick? Absolutely not. That is just not what they do. They're gonna put some stupid thing in there. They're gonna give it 2 screens. I don't know. But a lot of people have been saying that the Switch 2 won't just be a hardware buff. I think it might. I think the Switch 2 might actually just be a hardware buff, because Iwata did all the innovative, all the risk taking, he did the Wii. He worked mostly on the Switch, but Furukawa, we don't see much of him, but I don't think he's the kind of person that would like to take the risks that Iwata did. So I don't think the Switch 2 is gonna have a massive gimmick to it, which is kind of sad. I liked the gimmicks. You know, the 3DS, you barely use the 3D, but the DS gimmick was still pretty good there. You know, the Wii to the Wii U, that gimmick was cool. Nintendo Land is the best party game of all time. If they made like an accessory for the Switch 2 that was just like a screen, like a really cheap PlayStation Portal, like I'm talking $90 at max for basically a PlayStation Portal. You know, it doesn't have to be a high-res screen. It can be like 720p. As long as we can have asymmetrical multiplayer, I want it. I will pay whatever price you put on it. I want Nintendo Land to be a yearly release. I've been seeing a lot of people complaining about the size of the Joy-Con, but like the 3DS was way worse, and I saw way less people complaining about that. Cause, I mean, it's a handheld. Obviously, it's not gonna be the most comfortable. You're obviously not gonna have a lot of room to make something portable and comfortable. So it'd probably just be better to make it portable and then just deal with what you got. I saw very little people complaining about the 3DS being cramped, and it is very cramped. But for a handheld, you just kind of gotta deal with it. Because I ain't lugging around a Pro Controller with me everywhere. Why not just keep the smaller size? Maybe offer a larger size. But like, the Joy-Con are fine to me, they're fine the way they are, other than their analogs and the IR camera. Please get rid of the IR camera, bro. Oh my god. It's terrible. It's such a waste of space and money. Let's get the obvious one out of the way. Nintendo, why do you not want to give us GameCube games? Like, you give us 64. You give us Super Nintendo. You give us NES, Game Boy Advance, which is the same period as the GameCube. But you won't give us GameCube. Like, the remasters go hard. The remakes and remasters go hard. The Pikmin remakes, or the Pikmin remasters, though they're not even remasters, they're enhanced ports, but they're still cool. I still like them. They're still good ports. Metroid Prime Remastered and the upcoming Thousand Year Door, those are great. Keep doing those. But why are you not giving us all of your other GameCube games on the Virtual Console? That would make sense. But no, you refuse to let me play Luigi's Mansion while I'm eating McDonald's. My only other option is the 3DS version. I don't want to play the 3DS version of Luigi's Mansion. It's garbage. It's doo-doo water. The only good thing about that version is that the Boos have a full set of teeth. That's it. The controls, garbage. Why do I have to use the little nub as my C-stick? I want a C-stick. Also, why did you put that nub on the 3DS? Why didn't you give me a C-stick? You had enough room. You had more than enough room for a C-stick. But no C-stick. Why? The first launch title that I'd like to see release alongside the Nintendo Switch 2 or the Nintendo Switch successor is I want to see a new 3D Mario. Now I know that's pretty obvious. I know that's pretty safe. But 3D Mario, you can never mess up with a 3D Mario game at launch. They always go hard. Even 3D World and 3D Land, those weren't launch titles, but they still went hard. When I boot up a Switch, I feel empty. Like there's nothing there. Cause there is nothing there. You boot up a Wii U, you get all your Miis. All of your Miis that are linked to accounts, and then all the Miiverse Miis that you've come across while playing games or going on Miiverse. Sadly, that's shut down. The 3DS had music. It had different themes you could choose. You could get themes in the little claw machine game. You can hack your 3DS to have Saul Goodman as your home screen. The Switch, you can hack it. Models that were released 2 months after the release date. Like, there's nothing there, Nintendo, please. The other consoles feel so much more fun to just boot up and mess around in the menu, because they have more personality to them. So, Nintendo, I hope you find some gimmick that you can do. I know you're probably not gonna, but I hope you find something that you can do. Something cool. But if you don't, I don't care. A hardware buff Switch is still cool. So, whenever that releases, I'll be covering that. Whenever I come up with another stupid idea, I'll do that. And I will see you the next time I feel like making a video.